My name is Wachira. Um, okay, I'll explain why I'll have to read from here. So I'm not that boring regularly, but you'll understand why later on. My name is Wachira. I'm an entrepreneur and a lover of life. I'm married to Ellen, who also did Centonomy, and she's here with me. And I have a cute little girl called Kaya. I've just hit my big 30 last October. And to tell you the truth, I wish I did this course when I was in class 6, when I started my journey. I'll just talk about eight lessons that I learned from Centonomy. And they've been enforced by things that I did earlier in my entrepreneurial life. I think part of the reason I was asked to come here is because, as my wife says, I learn a lot from my mistakes, but I keep on doing them. So one of them is this: securing your assets to create wealth, being a factory owner, contracts, making a hobby out of your business, building a team through co-ownership, making your money work, long-term planning, increasing your income streams. So I'll just talk a bit about my journey. Since class 6 in primary school, I started a small SACCO. I used to lend guys cash. So, and then I'd get interest for 10%. So I started off at those chums you steal from your paros, or they give you go to church, go buy this, you keep some cash. So I had around 500. So I used to lend out. I used to be the guy who lending out money in class. So it grew up to around 7 Gs. This is in 1996. So that's a lot of cash at that point, yeah? But then, on Friday, we went for sports, and I came back to find my desk is broken. And that was my cash safe. So all my cash just disappeared like that. What lesson was I supposed to learn there? You need to secure your assets. You need to figure out how to secure your assets. Well, years on, I joined university. When I was in university, I joined a fledgling startup which focused on youth trend research with only 5 employees at that time. I was in second year. I then helped develop the company because where I came in is because I was starting up an East African division of the business. So that grew. We got a lot of clients. I did a lot of work with them. Our revenues reached $3 million. And then at that point, I was earning very good money. I even wanted to leave university. I remember I had a whole debate with my dad about leaving university. Obviously, I was shut down. So when I was pissed, I decided, let me just buy my dad used to like sports cars, so I always love sports cars, yeah? So I was like, hey, let me get a Golf GTI. Me, I'm a guy who's been reading Max Power since for all the guys who are here, they know Max Power. So I've been reading, I souped up my moti, leather, kila kitu. And then one day, as I was busy doing, redoing the engine, I needed to get a new logbook. So basically, there was a period there that my car wouldn't be insured. So at that point, I'd parked the car. Then I decided, a friend of mine called me and was like, hey, Royce, you come bring me this book. So I was like, let me go. So I went. And then as I figured the guy's place, I came out, went to give the guy the book, came out, this is the essay. You get, there's nothing in front of me. Car gone, pap. Cops can't even help you. All the money I'd put into the car disappeared. So you guys are being taught about faucets. That's what happens, yeah? Another reason why you should secure your assets. So another thing which happened at the same time, I'd been working hard, putting my ass on the line. And then when it came down to, since the company now had grown, I'd been with the company for a while, and then the owners decided to give out equity to the employees. I didn't get any equity. And there were lazy buggers there. So me from then, I said, I'm not going to be a factory worker. I am going to start my own business. That's how I'm going to do my own thing. So after that, I started doing a lot of party planning. I was very good in parties. In Cape Town, I used to be known as the Kamea. So so guys used to come to me. I used to be hired by clubs to do this, that, plan that, get students here, student nights, that kind of thing. So I accumulated a bit of wealth. Then a friend of mine came, and then he was like, he's starting a brand new clothing company. It's a hip-hop clothing brand. It's called Head Honcho. So, and he needed basically an angel investor. He didn't have the money, and what basically he had got, we had just managed to get like a big deal. There's a big retail chain called Sports Scene in SA. It's like in every city. So these guys had come and told us that they want us to stock in their company. Before, it used to just be those guys selling out of a car. So I chucked my cash, gave the guy, we talked about it because now the next day we needed to act. So we decided, let's agree on the shareholding, nini. So me, I just gave the guy the cash. That time I was coming back home maybe 6 months after that. So I gave the guy the cash, went in, came back. Campo was doing like nearly 300,000 Rand a month, so that's like 3 million a month worth of sales, because now Sports Scene was just buying out stuff. So when I went back to SA to like check on my shareholding, nini, the guy was like, now, this Campo has really grown, huh? So that agreement we had is not gonna work. So basically, from maybe 30%, it went down to 1% of the new valuation, which was useless, basically. Because basically, without the cash that I'd put in, the guy wouldn't be where he is. So what did I learn from that? Secure assets. To create wealth. Don't part with money without a contract. And that's another thing. Contract. You always have to make sure that you figure a way and contract, like as in understand how people do things. All you young guys, I mean, imagine how many mistakes you'll make if you don't actually just do these small things. So, I came back home. I had an idea. In the part-time in university, I taught myself how to code and build websites for me and my friends, which now what I used to do is like get old photos, scan them, put them up, put captions. It was basically like an old Facebook before Facebook. So, and every time I'd come back home, because I'd saved up to buy a little camera, I'd always take pictures, and then everyone would be like, Royo, post the pictures. And even when Facebook came, I used to be the guy uploading most of the pictures for everyone, because when I come home, I take pictures for everyone. So I stopped and I was like, hey, this thing can be a biashara. So I figured out how to do it. So I came back home 2009, July. My dad asked me, hey, so Royo, what do you want to do? I was like, hey, boss, mimi nataka kupiga picha, niweke kwa website. The guy looked at me, actually, a drive to Nyeri, we were going Shago. So I'm going to see my grandfather the first time I come back. The guy looked at me and like, Royo, get serious. That's just a joke. Like basically, I was told it's a joke. So I was like, I'm very stubborn, by the way. So I persevered. I did my own homework, research, did my presentations, because now, at least in uni, I'd learned how to be really good at presentations. So I managed to get the contacts for the marketing manager for Safaricom, reached out to her, went, I knew I only had one shot, pitched, loved the idea. The funny thing is, since in SA, I used to do a lot of work for like youth culture, I used to know what's ticking, what's going to be happening later. So most of the insights that I'd put on my presentation were basically like stuff they had just found out. So she was amazed, so she was like, let's go on with this. So that's how I launched Rumba.com. For the guys who used to party hard, you remember the guys who used to come and take photos of you in the club and then post them up on a website, which was sponsored by Safaricom? That was my idea. So we kept on doing this. We had, site was up, we were kicking, top 10 site. Then, obviously, some guy hacked into us and then shut us down. So went back to the drawing board, realized that I need to basically make the platform better. So yes, we're relaunching. But what I realized from that is that any given time you have a hobby, you have to figure out how you can make money from that hobby, because there's a reality that you can make money from that hobby. I mean, I look at my dad now and I ask him, okay, so you were telling me this couldn't work. It worked. You know what I mean? There are a lot of guys who will look at you and be like, you get a joke. That whatever you're talking about is a joke. But most of the time, if you know, the thing about hobbies is this. If you have a hobby, it's very easy to do. You don't have to get up. Nobody has to charge you up to get up in the morning to sit. I remember I used to post pictures. There's times, like there was one time I was waiting for a signature at Safcom, and I went there 3 months. 3 months, every day, sat in the office, waiting for one signature so that we can get the project going. By the time I left that place, everyone knew me. They even thought I was an employee there. As in, just because, if it's your hobby, it's like, it's so deep, it's so inside you. It's not like something that a guy can call you and tell you, hey, so we go for a drink plan. You look at him like, hey, apana. Me, I'm continuing to do what I do. So I always tell guys, try and figure out what your hobby is and how you can make a business out of that. And then, through my photography side hustle, because now, eventually I became a very good photographer. I used to make quite a lot of money during the weekends, excess cash from my hobby. So I decided, it's the best time, since I'm a motor junkie, let me buy myself something I thought I would never be able to buy. So I bought myself a Ducati 848. At that time, I was the best event photographer in the region. Safaricom, Heineken, name them. I used to do all that stuff. I managed to pay off the bike very easily through my hobby. So that, like I said, use your hobby. I mean, like, if you're going to buy a floor set, use your hobby to pay for it, if anything. You know what I mean? So, the thing is, at that time, the business was me. I was the business was me. My company at that time was called Roy King Limited, and it was centered around me. The clients, everyone, you want something done, you call Roy. My employees called Roy for decisions. Everything was happening, decisions. Life was pumping, man. I used to work a lot harder, but then I used to also, that's why I got my bike. It used to be free. It used to be my time to free myself and all that. Then we were doing these really big projects for Nikona Safaricom Live. And then after one project where it come from Machakos, I decided, let me go out for a bike ride. And then I had a very freaky accident at around 30 kilometers per hour. I found myself on the side of the road, and my left leg wasn't working. My left arm wasn't working. And from then on, basically, my life changed. As a photographer, you realize you do need two arms, yeah? So luckily, my left leg came back. And then now as I'm sitting in my bed, clients are busy calling. You get? They're busy calling. So I talked to my team. My team came next to my hospital bed. They were like, boss, don't worry about this. You guys, I think you've taught us enough. Let's do this. Guys went on. You guys went back 3 months to the office. I was like, hiya, you guys don't need me. And then I realized that, luckily, I had been training them slowly by slowly. So from that end, I learned like something from Centonomy is always, how do you make your money work? Because sometimes, like these days, I don't have to be there physically for guys to go on doing what they're doing. Because one, my team feels like they own the company, and I always make sure that they do. They feel like that, and you appreciate them for what they do. And so that enables us to be able to grow into other things versus just keeping one thing as your core focus. So in order to make, I know guys just think you need to make your money work, but in order to have, like a guy like the guys who own Ramco have 32 companies. When you think about the fact that one person could have started something, one seed, made 32 companies all over East and Central Africa, and each one of them is like the highest taxpayer in its category, there is something that they understand about building teams. And using human resource as capital in order to build your business. It's not only in investment that you should make money work, but you need to also look at all your aspects of your business to see how you can make them work for you. Lastly, my other lesson, which I learned, is long-term planning is a necessity. As I said, I have a wife and kid. Before my accident, I had taken an education cover for her. I had taken a life cover on myself. And very weirdly, my dad had also taken a life cover on me. So, after I had my accident, between the 3 years we had taken this cover, because I only had my bike for around that time, we had spent maybe maximum 500K in premiums, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But then now after my accident, my bills were coming out to like around 5-6 million, I mean, I had nerve damage. I still have nerve damage. It can't be treated here in Kenya. No one knows how to treat it. So I always, if I need treatment, I have to go all the way to Milan. If I didn't have a cover, I would not be standing here. You know what I mean? Because either you close your business so that, and I've seen that happen. There's actually me and Shakir in the same building. There's one guy who had to close his business because he got cancer. And this is a business which was the first business in our building. So if you think about that and think about you're busy out there hustling, doing everything that you can do, but you've never actually taken a cover for yourself or for the things that you care about, then you're actually just digging your own hole. So better plan for the long term. I mean, immediately after that, I took like 3 other covers. I was like, shit, man. So at least they saved me. And, okay, sorry, I said lastly before, but this is lastly. Another key lesson which I love preaching is obviously increasing your income streams. You have to figure out how to increase your income streams. Right now, just after the course, okay, if you come to offices, you'll understand what I'm saying. I love interior design. I'm that guy with colors and everything. I like putting things together. So we have a kind of different kind of workspace. It's very free, very relaxed. And all the time we always have clients or guys, they're like, hey, Royo, hey, guy, this place is nice. Do you have space? Is there availability over here? So every time I kept on looking at this, I'm like, this is a crazy insight. Then I walked around, then I went all over the place, then I did my research, and I found, hey, these spaces they're not well suited. The guys who are doing it here are either going very high end, very low end. And one of the things I enjoyed about SA is the fact that the way the country is built is like it empowers young guys to do their own business. So after that, I'm basically now constructing something called the Foundry. So the Foundry is a co-working space that obviously the focus is to take big spaces, make them small, make them funky for young guys, and then young guys can come and rent and start something. I'm a very big and passionate person about getting people to start their own businesses. I'm very big on you do yourself in whatever category you're in. So I figured I was given a second chance by God. I need to be able to make sure that I can get the next generation to start something because he gave me a chance to start. So in short, I'd like to ask you guys to join Centonomy and learn from others' mistakes, unless you want to learn mine. I can even give you my doctor's phone number and everything. Learn from others' mistakes because it's less expensive, and come do it. Because one thing, and especially all you guys who are in banking, insurance, and entrepreneurs, you guys think you're geniuses, but you're not. As in, you don't know everything, and that's the truth. You always, even the samurai has to sharpen his sharp blade. You can't ever get sharp enough. You know what I mean? Don't ever lie to yourself, dude. Last year, I finished like 2 or 3 degrees, man. I was popping. You get me? I'm happy with that. So go out there, get knowledge. If you want to come do Centonomy, do something else. I think the thing about Kenya, I find that the young people just settle. But anyway, stop settling. Get up, do something, go get some knowledge. Always add knowledge. You can't ever learn enough. The bar is not a place to learn. Yes, you can chapa stories all you want, drain your money, and then read about us in the newspapers. That's cool. I'm happy with that. Are you?